Hello, I'm An, and our video covers learning segmentation data collection and analysis at First Hawaiian Bank. We'll go over the background, project scope, we'll meet the team, the problem, how we approached it, and our recommendations. First Hawaiian Bank is the oldest established bank in the state of Hawaii that offers consumer and commercial banking for deposits, lending, wealth management, insurance, and trust services. As data becomes more and more prevalent in business, it is important to understand how to leverage data for all stakeholders. The project goal is to increase the understanding of customer data to improve products and services. We'll apply knowledge in a practical setting and provide unique insights. Our team consists of Sean, Dominic, and myself from Hawaii Pacific University, and Thomas and Rosemary from First Hawaiian Bank. The problem we are solving is how do we take our current situation of disparate and non-integrated data into a single source of truth that can enable efficient data usage for operations. We need to ask the right questions to find the right data. For this, I'll turn it over to Dominic.
Thank you, Anne. There are two categories of questions we want to ask about, demographic and psychographic. Demographic is information that describes the characteristics of a person such as age, gender, or race. Psychographic is information about the attitudes, values, interests, lifestyles, and behaviors of a person. It is used to understand the psychological characteristics that drive people's decisions and actions. The questions we originally came up with were first name/last name, birthday, email, phone number, primary race, gender, employment status, number of accounts with bank, and how long they have been customers. Some of this information already exists, some we can't ask, such as race, so we settled on these questions to be asked: email, phone number, employment status, income level, and housing. Now that we have these questions established, we'll look at the data with Sean.
Due to the private nature of a lot of the data that First Hawaiian Bank has been able to collect on their customers, we're not going to be showing you much of anything here. As you'll see, these are some generic screenshots of the software platform they use to look at customer data, which is called Amparity. By digging into Amparity, we were able to gather a few insights about First Hawaiian Bank's customers. Customers must see the value of giving up their data. There must be a benefit to them. Customers are also acutely aware of the number of instances of institutions abusing and not properly caretaking customer data. Banks must be transparent and gain the trust of their customers in order to create the strong relationship they require. Overall, these insights highlight the need for accurate customer information to ensure effective communication and customer service. From these insights, so now we know what questions can be asked, what questions can already be answered. We had to figure out when to ask the questions. For this, we call it touch points, and Anne will lead us through it.
Thanks, Sean. We define touch points as where a person can interact with First Hawaiian Bank. There are 6 channels: in a branch, online, mobile, ATM, on the phone, or through physical mail. Most of the banking needs are met through branch, online, mobile, while ATM, phone, and physical mail have limited services. In this example, we'll explore visiting a branch in person. In addition to the general banking needs met by online and mobile channels, there are 2 unique services by virtue of being in person. That is, safety deposit boxes and currency exchanges. In our paper, we apply the questions mentioned by Dominic earlier to see when and how it is appropriate to ask the question. For example, if a customer is requesting to exchange currency, it isn't appropriate to ask, "What is your income?" Our paper goes more in depth as to many touch points and the appropriateness of questions. From this process, we came up with 3 major recommendations.
Thanks, Anne. Our first recommendation is asking appropriate questions. When addressing what are appropriate questions to be asked, First Hawaiian Bank should be striking a balance between collecting necessary information to provide better services and respecting their customers' privacy. There has to be transparency about why they are collecting this information, how it will be used, and how it will be protected. This transparency can help build trust and confidence with customers who are increasingly concerned about data privacy and security. First Hawaiian Bank must also take in consideration cultural sensitivity and ensure that their questions are designed to be as neutral and unbiased as possible. How to ask these questions would be our next recommendation. Anne?
Thanks, Dominic. There are a variety of ways an individual can interact with First Hawaiian Bank, whether in person or not. Each interaction is an opportunity to collect and confirm information. With sensitivity to privacy and personal data, First Hawaiian Bank should continue best practices that inform both employees and the public why First Hawaiian Bank takes data seriously. Our final recommendation is to look to the future. One of the areas we looked at was an online presence and a way to get existing and new customers to securely update their information. For this, I'll turn it over to Sean.
The web interface provides the same information but doesn't look exactly the same as the mobile app. So you'll see on the left-hand side, the mobile app. Our recommendation is that we add an additional pane that you could swipe to that will provide much of the same information and insight as the web interface.
So to conclude, data collection is hard, especially for those of us who don't have experience in the financial sector. However, our takeaways are know the areas of engagement and how to ask appropriately. Everyone in the organization can be a touch point for data collection. And as customers age out, you need to look to build a foundation for the future. This concludes our presentation, and mahalo to everyone from First Hawaiian Bank and Professor Rowland who helped us out on this project.